Am I in the bathroom again? Yes. Are you judging me? Probably. Do I care? No. Hi, friends. Welcome back to another vlog in my bathroom where I am all day, every day. And yeah. I said last week on my podcast that I am going to upload every Sunday. Guess what? Missed it again. There was a lot of things going on this week, energetically, emotionally, like all that stuff. Mercury retrograde was ending, and definitely it needed to. Okay, because it needed to energetically, and I really was not going to be able to put, myself into a space of filming and recording for the channel. But I feel better. I'm good.
Random dancing.
These things slap. Y'all need to get yourselves some. Cause they really snap. Hold on. Let me show y'all how you do it. They're so good. They're thin. They're crispy. They're plant-based. The brand is From the Ground Up. Okay. The only products that I've seen of them are these crackers, honestly. And I get them from my market. Decent ingredients. Actually, all the ingredients are good. Oh, snaps. Yeah, the ingredients are nice. They taste really, really good. And you can eat a lot of them and not feel heavy. Like, they're not like Cheez-Its. Even though Cheez-Its do slap. But I haven't had those in years, so. But yeah, y'all should go get y'all some. This box was, I don't know, I think like $4.50. It's hard not to eat all of them at one time. But I just wanted to stop by quickly and say that.
Hi, y'all. I'm crying. I'm crying because I'm like disassociating like so heavy right now. Like, I don't know. I feel so like afraid, or there's something in me that is afraid. I don't know why I'm so overwhelmed with emotion right now. Like, sometimes my human self gets really afraid of like her divinity, Like, there's something in me that's afraid to step into my power, and I get so, like, my mind just goes all over the place. And I feel so crazy when I talk about it with anybody because I disassociate so heavy. And for some reason, I don't think people will understand, like, when I start talking about like how I feel when I'm like derealizing stuff, and I don't know. See, like right now I don't even know if I'm making sense. So sometimes I keep it all in my head, but then there are moments like right now where it just feels so scary because I feel like it's so easy to go into like a nihilistic point of view where it's like, bro, like, what is this? And I wonder, like, I don't know.
I start to have like a dialogue like in my mind, like is the creator like afraid of itself? Because that's how I feel. And I'm a part of the creator, and I feel like as a collective, like human beings, that's what we like. I don't know. And see, y'all, I feel like I really don't be making sense. I just felt like I needed to talk. I needed to distract myself because, like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if I'm actually afraid of anything per se, or I just don't, the feeling of being afraid is uncomfortable. That's what it is. Okay. See what happens when you sit. See what happens when you sit and you you go through what's supposed to be, and like, you know, you go through what is. What? See what happens when you sit and you look at something for what is, like you decipher it, and that's what I just did. So I don't really know if I'm actually afraid of anything, because fear is an illusion just as much as everything, all this is. Fear, the feeling of fear itself, is an illusion that the creator made for good reason. So I know that in reality, the creator is not afraid of itself, because it made fear, you know, it made everything. it made all the emotions. It made everything. So it's me being uncomfortable with my human mind and my ego and my human self, who cannot grasp the infiniteness of everything, you know? Our human minds individually, like, I personally feel like there's no way that we can grasp everything, because we're only a part of the painting. So we can't, you know, y'all feel me intuitively. It's me not wanting to sit with the feeling of being afraid, of my human being afraid, because I know me, my soul, the source that's in me, the source energy, you know, the soul, the observer, that spirit, that life force is not afraid of anything. But the human is, the mind is, the ego is, because that's finite in this infinity. And because we're finite, we're not going to be able to conceptualize. The finite cannot conceptualize the infinite. Boom, per. And so it's scary when you are, like, when the universe picks you to, like, you know, flicks the light switch on, or when you flick your own light switch on, you know, when you begin to become lucid in this dream. Like, you don't wake up from the dream, you become lucid in the dream, and then you can, you know, you just start to realize stuff. You become conscious of what's happening. You're not on autopilot, which there's nothing wrong with being on autopilot. That's what, you know, Source has that a part of its creation for a good reason. But I see why people choose to stay on autopilot. It's like in that scene in The Matrix where he's like, ignorance is bliss. And in some ways it is. Like, your human person may not feel so great all the time, depending on how you were programmed, but I get it, because this is scary. Like, or me sitting with the thoughts, me derealizing and me being present in my derealization is, that's scary for me. I'm not actually afraid. And it's because uncomfortable feelings, you know, they're just uncomfortable. We don't like to be uncomfortable. And recently I've been becoming really comfortable with me feeling sad, and with me feeling really tired and exhausted, or even with me feeling anxious, which I've come a long way. I've become comfortable with me feeling anxious. Basically, I know how I navigate it better. I don't judge myself for being anxious or sad or exhausted or tired. I recognize them as spirits. I recognize them as spirits that are here in my reality for specific reasons, and for sometimes no reasons at all. They're alive. Emotions are alive just like we are. And so I've become really comfortable with those. But the feelings of, I can't even explain it, because I want to say the feelings of fear, because angst is fear too. But that's a different, my anxiety usually stems from like fear of like physical death, or, you know, something that's trauma based. So it's something that's very physical that everybody deals with. But this kind of fear where you're just, where for me personally, I go into cycles and my mind just goes, it starts to go down like a scary loop where I'm like, bro, like, what is this? Like, technically, I am the only thing that exists because it's all one thing. I'm like, this is all one thing just existing just because. And it's so weird. Like, it's so weird. It's so, it's very trippy. It's trippy. And something about that is scary to like my human, which I feel like it's scary to a lot of humans. That's why people go to religion or just something to, you know, it is kind of scary. Am I making sense? Or maybe I should explain. I don't know if I'm making sense, but you know what? We don't have to make sense all the time. We do not have to make sense all the time. Hi friends, yes, it is in fact 2 days later, and I decided to continue the vlog. One, because I need to, and two, because I just wasn't gonna end it like that. And I've done my usual, so got up, showered, got dressed, made my list of things to do, and now I'm out doing them. But first, I think I'm gonna go have breakfast with myself. I often have breakfast with myself. You know, I take myself on dates sometimes. Like, I don't know, I just take myself on dates. I go to a place, I usually go to this diner that's near us, and I just eat. I sit to myself. Sometimes I listen to a podcast, and other times I might watch a story time. I love watching story times. Or, you know, sometimes I'll listen to an audiobook. I've been listening to tons of audiobooks. Or I'll talk to my sister, etc., etc. Sometimes I do just sit there and I just eat and I enjoy my food and I just vibe out. I like to do that. I like to go eat by myself. This diner is really nice. It's really cheap, good vibes. They have tons of veggies, so that's good. And it's just like my little thing that I do with myself, because there is some stuff I want to talk about. I feel like I mentioned this I don't know if I mentioned this in the earlier clips, because like I said, it's been 2 days since I vlogged. But there's some stuff that's been happening to me recently, and I just want to express it. Tons of really cool metaphysical, esoteric experiences, and just like the state of being that I am in has changed, or it's changing. It's ever changing. It's ubiquitous. But I just want to express it because there's a lot of cool stuff that's happening to me, and cool revelations that I'm feeling, and just different things that are happening. So yeah, I'm gonna go in the diner. Actually, I might film the spiritual chat video in the diner. Who knows? I wasn't really sure if I like this angle, but this angle it's gonna be what you get. Not every single clip, not every single video is going to be a beautiful angle. So much has been happening to me. Yes, please. Thank you. So much has been happening to me, like energetically. I feel like I've been a little bit all over the place, experiencing tons of highs and lows, but I feel like I've been riding it out very nicely. Like, I've been taking the roller coaster ride with like grace. And honestly, I feel like I've had more highs than lows. or maybe it isn't even amount, but I haven't been, I don't know, I just haven't been making myself feel like a victim these days. And I feel like I've been taking accountability for the choices I make on like how to feel about the way I'm feeling, like having opinions on the way that I'm feeling. So that's nice. It feels really good. Like there are times when, of course, there are things that rise to surface, like, you know, maybe some repressed thoughts or repressed emotions or stagnant energy that begins to rise to the surface. And just feelings that, you know, are just still lingering in the back of my head and my subconscious, or maybe something may trigger something that was deep in my subconscious, and like I'll literally just have these random moments where I'm just like crying and I'm letting it all go, and it feels good, and it feels like such a release. And of course, in the moment when it's happening, of course it does not feel good, but I don't put any like weird meaning to that. And if it's like something that I feel like I've healed from, or I feel like I've gotten over, and like the issues keep coming back up, or they keep resurfacing to clear out, I don't judge myself for that, and I continue to ride it through, and I recognize the healing process as a cycle. Like it's not linear, and I feel like that's something that I've grown from, because I used to kind of judge myself for it. Like I used to be like, oh my god, I thought I was over this, like why am I still feeling like this, why is this still coming up, is this gonna be like this forever, like etc., etc. But I feel like I've gotten over that. Like I've just been really enjoying the ebb and flow of life. Like I have genuinely kind of been enjoying those kind of icky moments when things like don't feel so great. Or like when I get into a fight with somebody, or like, you know, when I feel insecure, or any of these things, because now I look at it as a learning process. And of course, there are some times in the moment when it's happening, like I said, where it doesn't feel good in the moment. It does suck while it's happening, but once, you know, it resurfaces and it clears out, and you know, it's an ebb and flow, you move on to the next feeling that you have. Which is usually it's usually just like a sense of peace. It's a peaceful feeling where I'm like, oh wow, so I still feel insecure about this, or this still triggers me and makes me sad, or I still have those lingering thoughts about myself that are judgmental and not from a place of unconditional love. And it's just really nice, because I don't know, it just feels good. It feels trippy. And trippy, okay, that's something that I wanted to talk to y'all about, because right now I feel like I am experiencing a huge transition, like a huge shift in my personal awareness of my experience, awareness of my reality. And I have been attracting a lot of just experiences of people expressing what I'm feeling right now. So I've been listening to like a lot of Alan Watts and like non-dualists, and I've been I'll be scrolling through Instagram, and I'll see random Instagram posts, or, you know, just taking all of the signs and all these things that are like in my reality, and I'm like, wow, like I really feel like that. And it's that everything is an illusion. Everything has just been very trippy for me, and the reason why I say that, and I feel like I say that very accurately, because it's okay, I can fix the lighting later. I say that very accurately. Hold on. Okay, that's a little better. I feel like I say that very accurately because I have experienced psychedelic trips from taking plant medicine, and so I feel like I can say it's trippy. The state of being that I am in, that I'm currently experiencing, and that I have been experiencing for the past few weeks, is my state of being when I am experiencing a psychedelic trip, and that's extremely present, and just coming to terms with the reality that this is an illusion, and that we are all one, and that this is just an experience, no matter how high or how low you may feel in the moment. Like, that homeless person down the street who's like a drug addict or whomever is literally just a part of this crazy, cosmic, mysterious, spiritual experience. And I don't know, sometimes I disassociate, and sometimes it can get scary, at least to my human person. But I don't know, I feel like I've reached like another level in my conscious awareness, if that makes sense, because I feel like I have a new sense of power, and I feel like I've been like propelled into this awareness, and like I can't ignore it, and I have to step into my power. I have to own my divinity. I feel like, I don't want to say I feel like I'm being forced, but it does kind of feel like there's something pushing me to own my divinity, because the minute I don't, and the minute I kind of give into those fearful thoughts, or thoughts that are filled with angst about what this is, about what this experience is, I begin to experience the anxiety, and I begin to kind of go back into thought patterns and beliefs and habits of Diara before, from the Diara before. And I feel sometimes I'm not allowing myself to really embrace divinity for what it truly is. And I'm allowing myself to be afraid of my new awareness. And sometimes I don't like to express myself because I feel like people don't understand. I know that they may understand intuitively, but I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. Like, everyone is on their own journey, and what they're perceiving and experiencing is totally theirs, and mine is totally mine. So I just need to sit and I need to own my truth. But I need to do it mostly for myself and not to convince other people, because there's no convincing other people what's happening for yourself and your reality. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good one. Yeah, there's no trying to force something on somebody else. What I need to do is just sit comfortably in what I'm feeling. Like I said, have peace in the ebbs and flow of my experience as Diara, my experience as a person. I just feel so like spiritual. Like, I don't know. I really have been integrating the reality of this being an experience. Like, Diara as a person, this life that I'm experiencing is a trip. I'm on a trip experiencing Diara, experiencing her growing, her becoming aware, her, her journey through really like beginning to love herself unconditionally. And I recognize that every experience is like that, even if you're like, I don't know, a turkey, a blade of grass, an apple falling from a tree branch, other people. And I've been feeling that way about everything. Like, I feel like there's definitely a spirit of everything. Obviously, we know there's elemental spirits, the fire spirit, water spirit, air spirit, earth spirit. But even music, I've been feeling that way about music, even about just art in general. Everything has a spirit, and everything's so beautiful, and everything is on a journey. And we're all in this weird, crazy cacophony together that, to our human brains, is not, like I said before in the clip, like I said before, it's like the finite trying to understand the infinite. And I've just been working with Diara. I've been working with myself to try to just let go of trying to define the infinite, or trying to make the infinite smaller so that I could get it, so that I could feel comfortable. I've been trying to embrace uncomfortability, because that's a part of the experience. I don't want to be comfortable all the time, and I'm not. None of us are. The universe is like, oh, you feel good right now? Okay, not for long. But I've begun to embrace that. Like, I I don't know. I just recognize everything as part of like feeling great, feeling the spiritual experience. And I've really been resonating with a lot of the words of you know, certain people, certain thinkers, certain doers, certain beings, where, you know, all of this is spiritual. You crying, you dipping back into your old habits, that doesn't make you less spiritual. That doesn't make you less anything. That doesn't mean that you're not divine. That doesn't mean that, you know, you're not, yeah, it doesn't mean that you're not divine. You're just as divine as someone who meditates 14 hours a day. And y'all are completely the same, just in different lanes, on the same road in different lanes. And you're just the same as the blade of grass or the tree trying to fruit, or a seed that needs to sprout. You know, everything is divine. At this point, I'm just rambling. But yeah, I've just been embracing all of that. I've been embracing the things that don't feel good. I've even been embracing physical pain sometimes. Okay, I have a stomach ache. Okay, cool. And if I can get something out of it, if I can learn something out of it, which I feel like you can learn something out of any experience, then I can, and I'll take it. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to try to stop things from happening, or that doesn't mean that I'm just gonna be okay with like being sad or being lazy. Like, I embrace what I'm feeling, but if I can change it, then I will. If I can make myself comfortable out of an uncomfortable situation, then I will. Don't get me wrong. It's just that those times where I need to surrender to the uncomfortability, I feel like I've been okay now with surrendering to the uncomfortability. I find that you can look into like spiritual circles sometimes, or just like on social media, like how spirituality is like portrayed, and it's so much toxic positivity. Like, you are grumpy for like 5 minutes, you have an attitude for 5 minutes, and people are like, oh, you need to smile to raise your vibrations. No, let me be grumpy. It's okay. I want to be grumpy. Let me be grumpy. It's a part of my experience. It's okay. But I just feel like that goes along with people swerving into other people's lane and experiences, which is okay, because all of that is a part of this crazy cacophony of isness and God. So that's completely fine. But I don't know, it's all just observations and what has been I don't want to say what has been manifesting in my reality. I feel like it's always been here. It's just me being aware of it. And it is kind of trippy to me. Like, it feels like a trip. And there's a little part of me that wants to be afraid of that, but there's more in me that's like, okay, so if that's the case, we can, this could be really cool. This could be a really fun experience. And right now I'm experiencing Diara. I'm experiencing the human experience through Diara, and I want to continue to work with her and help her and give her the best life she can. And it's gonna be great. It's gonna be beautiful. Okay, but I'm gonna eat now. Okay, so I have give me a second. Whoa. And it was interesting because as I finished recording, and then I wanted to listen to a story time. And I was like, okay, let me watch story times about like fangirls, like meeting like different celebrities. So like I typed in like, I met Harry Styles, and some of these stories are wild, and some of them are like hurting my little like younger Diara, like 14-year-old Diara is like, no, like these boys were innocent. They definitely were not, y'all. And I knew that at the time, but I didn't want to accept it. But the stories are so interesting. So interesting. Hi, pigeon. Now I have to walk a little bit of a way. It's really not that far. It's super close. I don't mind walking. It feels great. But as I'm walking, I turn on another story time about like these girls
these fangirls and like their experiences and how they used to like go to hotels and like get the numbers from security and like all of these crazy things, and it's like making my inner child so happy because it's reminding me of all these stories. Like, y'all don't know me from back in the day when I was like the epitome of fangirl. Like, I can write a book. I literally can write a book about being a fangirl, and I have a slew of stories. I can have so many story times. I could be like, it'll be giving Tana Mojo. Like, it would be a story time channel. I have so many stories. so many. Sneaking in, meeting people, hanging out with people, going to parties, like all of this stuff. And it's just, I don't know, it ignited something in me a little bit. It's just making my inner child feel really happy, which is nice. Sometimes it's very healing. Like, that stuff that doesn't interest me anymore, like being super immersed and really deep into pop culture and, you know, praising celebrities and stuff, that stuff is not a part of my reality anymore. But it's so funny, like, and sometimes I do think of the stories that I have, and sometimes like I talk to my friends about it. I'm like, yeah, remember when we did this, like blah blah blah. And it's just fun to like revisit that part of my life, because that was literally my life, like for real. And in a lot of ways it has helped me develop into who I am today. So I have to show ode to the dedicated, determined fangirl Diara, because she was that girl. But yeah.